First of all, it's for me homecoming to see my erstwhile colleagues and a few new colleagues in this 2 days workshop. And the change that I see is more inspiring to me than, rather in more ways than one. One is that in this last 1 year, the work of RDI has spread deep and wide in the 4 states, and also at national level RDI seems to be gaining a huge amount of credibility with national institutions, public and civil society. I also see that this spread deep and wide and the recognition of the credibility that we've got is bringing upon us new responsibilities and new challenges and new, in a way, liabilities, moral liabilities. That from the 2 days deliberation, I found one particular thing striking, which is that continuously it looked to me that new and new responsibilities are being bestowed on us and thrown upon us, because people seem to be understanding that what RDI can deliver in the issues of land. There are very few institutions in the country who can do so with this much of rigor of research and this much of patience of working with government, and also this much of multi-pronged approaches, not limiting to either research or advocacy, but taking all the gamuts of research, design, advocacy and implementation and partnerships. So I think that's 2 things that was kind of reassuring for me to be in the organization again. I also saw that new and sort of grave challenges appearing on the scene from the Red Corridor, and also from government's inability to implement what it professed to implement on the ground due to lack of adequate human resources, due to lack of adequate responsive administration, and due to overall incapacity, which day by day is actually not reducing but actually increasing. And a solution to that seems gaining ground is to work on a mission mode where we involve the civil society players, the NGOs, the mass movements and social organizations, as well as technical and research type organizations like RDI and others, to do in a way to substitute government's work. Now, there could be questions asked whether this mission mode can really be a sustainable mode in the long run, reducing government's responsibility and trying to go in the other direction. The issue that's kind of bothering me is that as I see data, landlessness and absolute landlessness is actually increasing in almost all states, except a few states. In most states it's increasing, which means that new land have to be found to settle them with the land. And if the numbers of absolute landlessness increases significantly, then there are possibilities of social tension and social revolts and so on, even mutinies, kind of what is happening now in many parts. So there have to be new and innovative ways of finding where the lands are getting available. I see that as we speak, land prices and land issue, land costs are going up. At the same time, we can also see that the land prices are going up mostly in semi-urban and peri-urban areas where the growth possibilities of economy is actually coming down very openly and are visible. However, there are a huge number of pockets, rural pockets, where the land is still stagnant, still fallows, still unused, unproductive, and doesn't give in any price. So that brings in an issue of innovatively thinking of land management and of how to identify those lands and those people and to provide them the land that they need. The second important challenge, as I find, is to really identify how many are landless. Not only that, the second is to who are the landless people. Is it no amount of surveys are available that can tell us a good, reasonable figure of how many and who are the real landless people. And if I combine that with the women landless people, or the women, which have in fact very little data. So I think there are areas in which we need to look at, which earlier we have not looked at, areas of new research that are needed, new studies that are needed, areas in which innovative thinking and solutions are needed. For example, 13 states have promulgated Service Guarantee Act. In all of them, there are the Revenue Department, the Land Department has a number of services that are being brought under the Service Guarantee Act. Interestingly enough, the land alienation issues are not part of those services. Now, there is an enormous possibility that exists if we can bring in, through advocacy, to bring the issue of land alienation and solving land alienation issues as a service by the government to the tribals and Dalits and civil castes. So there has to be new ways of doing things, and I think the question Anuruddha raised in the morning is the most vital question. What can you do differently so that we get the desired amount of results? As a team, I have found that the overall cohesion of